Welcome to today's broadcast of a Successful and Fulfilled Digital Summit. I'm Kim Warren Martin, and I am excited for you to hear from today's faculty trainer, Gina Bell, founder of Pathways to Abundance. She's a former corporate healthcare executive and has over 30 years of business experience. Gina is an author, an international speaker, entrepreneur, business and life strategist, and her passion is purpose. Grab pen and paper so you can learn why living a purpose-driven life provides a compass and opens up new possibilities. Let's bring out the purpose-driven woman herself, Gina Bell, as she trains on unlocking your pathway to success. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone doing? My name is Gina Bell, and I am the founder and CEO of Pathways to Abundance. And yes, I'm a life coach, business coach, strategist. And I am here right now to share a very important message with you. And I want to first just thank Kim Martin for this wonderful, wonderful program that she has going on, this summit. And it's really about how to change lives, how to help others to create greater fulfillment and success in their lives, to get that fulfillment that they've been looking for and longing for. So I am excited and I am happy to be here with you. So let me start. What I want to talk to you about is finding your pathways to success. Yes, you're finding your pathways to success. And that is so important. And as we begin this talk, I want to first tell you just a couple of things about myself. First of all, my business was started based on a fundamental principle and fundamental belief that I have. And that is that I believe that each and every one of us have a calling on our life. And that calling gives us purpose and meaning in our life. And when we have the ability to answer that call, it becomes transforming. And so when you learn more about me, the one thing that I want to make sure that you don't forget is who I really am. And that is, I am a purpose-driven woman. Yes, and I am excited about that. And I can say that with full clarity, conviction, and I can move throughout my life with greater courage because I understand who I am. I understand who I am in the context of who God has created me to be. And it was when I realized that, and when that was revealed to me, it became life-changing. And that's the principle that I now hold in the context of my business and why I am here with you today. And it is to share with you some of those principles, but also to transform. So there will be new insights, new things to think about, but more importantly, I want to tell you 3 important things. Number 1, what does it mean to be purpose-driven? Secondly, how having a purpose-driven life can transform your life, but more importantly, it can create a pathway for you that will be fully illuminated and will be your ultimate key to success. And lastly, I want to share with you what my 6 principles are on how you can manifest greater success in your life. So are you ready? Are you ready to get started? And just allow me to use my gift that God has given to me to help you with the rest of your life in transforming that life. So I'm going to talk a lot about abundance and I'm going to talk about pathways. But first, let me just tell you who I'm talking to. Let me tell you who this presentation is really meant for. So if you are at a point in your life where you're longing for more, you feel like you've checked the box, you've done all the things that everybody else expected you to do. You've gone to school, maybe you've gotten married, you've been in a career, but somehow It just has not been fulfilling for you. Or maybe you got there, you got to the top where you were expected to be, and the expectations weren't met. That there was something still missing. Or maybe you lost that job, you've gone through divorce, separation, any of those major life events, only to find yourself now wondering what's more for you. If you fit into those categories, then this presentation is for you. Or if you're just at a point in your life where you want greater meaning in your life, you want to experience joy. And when I talk about joy, it's that uncommon joy, the kind of joy that just doesn't go away no matter what the circumstances in your life. You want to rekindle that joy inside, then this is for you. And I want you to listen closely. I hope, grab a pen, paper, whatever it is, your journal, whatever it is where you want to take notes, because I want you to be able to capture the points that I'm going to give you. So if that's you, then I'm ready to transform your life. So let's get started. So let me first tell you about pathways. What is that pathway and what is abundance? I'll start with abundance. So what actually is abundance? When people talk about abundance, it means so many different things to different people. What it means for me, and in the context of this presentation, abundance is understanding, knowing within your heart that there's more for you, that no matter what it is that you want, that it's there for you, that through what God has promised us, that it's still there and it's achievable and it's good for you. You can still achieve it. That life is not impossible, but it's possible. And all things are possible for you. So it's having that abundant mindset and realizing that it's not about the things that you acquire in life. It's not about all of the material things, because we know that those material things, at the end of the day, they don't bring us joy. Yes, we may look good. We may have that big fancy house. We can have all the clothes and all the shoes and all those things, all those material things. But in the quiet of the moment, you realize that those things are not what creates the joy. What creates the joy is understanding all of the beautiful moments that you've created in your life. It's understanding that just spending that time with your family or doing things on a regular basis that creates greater fulfillment in your life. That's what abundance is all about. And I believe that each of us can create that pathway to abundance. I also believe for you, for anyone under the sound of my voice, that your pathway to success and your pathway to abundance is right there on the horizon and ready for you to claim. So listen up and let's move forward. Now, as I talk about a purpose-driven life, do you know what your purpose is? Have you thought about that? Is that something that you've even considered? Do you hear the calling on your life? Because being purpose-driven changes your life. And the day that I realized that, and the day that I answered that call, my life has never been the same. And so it's having that purpose and that meaning in our lives that give us greater direction. So let me just ask you 2 questions. The first question I want to ask you is, first of all, do you know what you want? So think about that and write it down. And I'm not talking about the material things. I'm not talking about that dream vacation that you want. I'm not talking about the house, all those things. And I'm not even talking about the things that maybe that other people want for you. I'm saying for you individually, what is it that you really want? Because if you don't know, and if you can't answer that question, it's very, very difficult for you to manifest that in your life. It's very difficult for God to create that pathway for you in your life if you can't answer that question. And it's okay if you can't answer it right now. Just write it down and know that that's part of your homework. That's part of your assignment, is to figure that out. The second thing is, as you begin to think about what it is you really want, the second question that I ask you is, do you know how to get there? Do you know what that is for you? And if that question is very difficult for you to answer as well, write it down. And those two questions are two very, very critical questions that I want you to answer and prepare yourself for, because you have to know those two things. What do I want and how am I going to get there? Now, you may decide what it is you want, but you may have concerns about how to get there. And I would urge you that there are people that you will meet today throughout the summit that can help you, but there are people you can consult with. Don't hesitate to get help, to help find out and navigate on a path to get to where you want. But you have to know what you want and then create a path to get there. So let's talk about pathways. So what is pathways? I've talked a little bit about what abundance is. Now let's talk about pathways. You know, sometimes we get on a path that's been created for us by someone else because we're trying to live up to others' expectations of who we are and what we should be doing with our lives. Sometimes it can start as early as a child, that our parents sometimes can say, you know what, my desire for you is to go to law school. My desire for you is to be a physician. We don't have a physician in our family, but you are that hope. So we want you to be that. And then you get on that pathway from a little child, always believing that that's the right pathway for you. Or maybe you decide that once you get older and you start following this path because you see that others are going down a similar pathway. Maybe they've gone into education. Maybe there are a lot of educational professionals in your area and you thought, yeah, I'll do that. Or maybe the money is in technology, so I'm going to go and be in technology because that's going to be a path for me. I'm going to get in computer science. All of those different avenues that you take. But did you ever consider, is that the right pathway for you? Is that the right way for you? And then you've gotten there, and then it hasn't been really what you really wanted. So there's multiple pathways that you can take. There are different avenues that will lead you to different places, different heights and different valleys. But the question on the table is, what is the right pathway for you? What is the right pathway that's going to lead you to that ultimate joy, to that fulfillment that keeps you getting up every day, excited about what you're doing, excited about the impact that you're making in the lives of others. Excited because now you have a clear direction. You have a clear focus. That's what Pathways is all about. It's about finding and creating the pathway that's going to lead you to that abundance, to that abundant life. And again, when I talk about abundant life, it's not about all of the things that you collect along the way. It's about the things that you possess on the side that you use then to impact others in your life. And that's why Pathways to Abundance is so illuminating. And so creating that pathway for you that then leads to ultimate success for you is where we want to go. So let me just be clear right now for you, is that as we talk about that path, it's really up to you. It's up to you to create that pathway to lead to the life that you want and to earn the revenue that you deserve. So I'm going to say that again because I want you to understand that there are two components. And it's about creating that pathway, the right one, that leads you to the life that you want, the life that you deserve, and the life that gives you greatest fulfillment and allows you to earn the revenue that you deserve. So whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you are thinking about moving into entrepreneurship, or whether you're in corporate, whatever that pathway is for you, you can create it within that spectrum. And let me tell you what is most illuminating about creating that pathway. I started out telling you that I'm a purpose-driven woman. And I told you that for a reason, because what I want to do is to give you an idea of what it's like to be purpose-driven. When you have answered the calling on your life, and as I told you, I believe that each of us have a purpose in our life. Each of us have this calling. And when we can answer that call, when we can hear that call and identify what that purpose is. Now you may be asking me, Gina, what is this purpose-driven life? How do you get there? I'm still struggling with figuring out what that pathway is. I'm still trying to figure out what my purpose is. I don't know. Well, I can tell you, when you discover what that purpose is, it's life-changing. But your purpose, it's been designed for you all your life. It's right there for the taking. And it's about, can you hear it? Can you hear it? Now see, some of us miss it. And sometimes we don't even find out until much later what it is with clarity and conviction. But see, in order to hear it, if you're trying to hear it with your ears, you're not going to hear it. You have to hear it within your soul. It's that meaning, it's that burning on the inside, it's that passion, the things that brings you the greatest joy and fulfillment in your life. Sometimes we miss it because of all the distractions that are going on in our lives, and we sometimes miss it. Let me just share with you a very personal story. There's a friend of mine, she and I were having a conversation, and she was struggling, not knowing what her purpose was. She thought she knew, but she really wasn't sure. And so as we began to have the conversation, we began to talk about what it is that you want. What brings you passion? What makes you most excited? What are you good at? And she said, there's one thing that I've always wanted to do. And I want to be able to help college students go to college. And because what concerns me most is that sometimes when these kids are going to school, they might be first generation. They may be lost when they get there. They get to that big university and they're lost and they don't know what to do. And they start feeling sad or out of place. I want to be able to help them. I want to be able to provide them with the resources that they need, and whether it's a mentor, whether it's coaching, any of those things, I want to be able to do that. And as she began to talk about it, her eyes began to tear up. And she said, but I probably can't make money doing that. I need something that's going to help sustain me, but I may not be able to make money. So people said that really what I should be doing is doing this. But I said, well, what do you think about that? She said, it'll be okay, but I said, but what is it that you really want? What's on the inside? What is your soul telling you? I want to help those kids. So I looked at her and I said, that's your purpose. That's what you've been called to do. When you have something like that that's on your heart that's burning and you can't get away from it, and you wake up in the middle of the night and you see visions of what that is, that's God telling you that he has a purpose for you. You have a purpose to change lives. Those are the lives that you're intended to change. Can you see what difference that is? So yes, you could be a counselor, a mentor to students from high school on to college. But if the focus for what you're doing doesn't touch you in the heart, doesn't give you the greatest fulfillment, I would suggest to you that it's about purpose and it's about mission. And it's about those things that create a greater impact in the lives of others. Because living a committed life, a purpose-driven life, is understanding that your purpose is greater. It's not for you, it's for the people that you'll serve. It's for those people in the community and around you that you're going to make a difference. You know, because that's what life is all about. It's about leaving a legacy. Have you thought about the legacy that you want to make? Have you thought about that legacy that you're going to leave for your children, for your family, for the community? That when your time is up, what's that legacy that you've left for someone else? How have you touched lives? See, I just believe that's our purpose. That's what we're here for. And that's why I live and I am committed to the purpose-driven life that I've now answered that call. And when you have that purpose, when you have that calling, you have to heed it, heed to the call. You have to accept it, be willing to accept it, and then be courageous to move forward. And that's what I've done. And that's why I'm so passionate about it. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping other people come to that place in their lives where they can make a difference and get that ultimate sense of fulfillment. But I'll tell you another reason why it's important to have a purpose-driven life and how it can really change your life is that when other people see the glass half full, half empty, you can't help but see it as being half full. When other people see challenges in their lives, what you see is you just have another mountain that you have to climb. You have to change your shoes, take off the tennis shoes and put on the hiking boots and recognize that you're now hiking up that mountain. You may not know how far you have to go. You may not know what's on the other side. But what you do know is that you have got to climb that mountain because you are a woman on a mission, on a purpose. It also won't let you keep still. Oh, you may be ready to give up on that pathway because it's not always going to be easy. But you know that it's worth it. You may feel sometimes that maybe it's not going to work out. Maybe I just need to get off this path. But when you're purpose driven, it's going to wake you up. All of a sudden, you start having visions. You'll see how to work it out. Those visions will just start coming with rapid speed. And then the excitement starts all over again. And then before you know it, you're back on track. You're back moving and shaking and living in the boldness of who you are. Being that one and only person who's using your gifts and talents that God has created for you, he's given you, that those represent the treasure trove that now begins to illuminate that path for you so that you now can create the success, that you now can create that pathway for you to get you to where you want to be, where God has led you to be. Oh, when you're living a purpose-driven life, it's not going to let you get off that path. And when the storms start to rage, and then rain starts to fall, the wind starts turning. Oh, yes, you know what? You're going to say, I got this. Because you know what your purpose is, you know what your mission is, and you're going to go. So I want you to get excited about the purpose that's in your life and recognize that that purpose now will illuminate that pathway for you and get you on where you desire to be. So that's what purpose is all about. And that's what's living a committed life to purpose. So as we think about the purpose, as I indicated, that purpose now illuminates that path for you. It gives you a sense of clarity. It gives you a sense to walk with greater pep in your step. It gives you that opportunity now to create the magic. So if you want to manifest that success in your life, I want to share with you my 6 principles. The 6 principles that I've used every day in my life since I got on this pathway. Because, you know, can I share a real personal story with you for just a moment? You know, I've not always realized what my purpose was. There was a time when I didn't know. I was on that path. I was trying to do everything that I thought that everybody wanted for me. And I thought I really wanted it. And I did. And I had a fantastic time. But then one day I woke up and I realized that something was missing in my life. That all the people that I thought would be there for me were no longer there. When I really needed them the most, they weren't there. So I went through some very dark days with losing a job, with losing a marriage. And then I was now faced as a single parent in midlife. So for some, they would say, you know, your life is almost over. All your best days are behind you. So there were some real dark days, but it was in the depths of those moments that I began to realize that the visions became clearer to me. That, oh no, my life was just beginning. I had a whole new life ahead of me because I now had a purpose and a mission. But I had to quiet down. I had to remove all of the distractions in my life so I could begin to heed the messages as they were coming and what it was going to do for me. And yes, there were some dark days. There were days when I didn't want to even get out of bed. But there was something on the inside that said, you got to go. You got a daughter that's dependent on you. You got things that you have to do. God has called you to do something. You got to answer that. So with the help of coaches and mentors and pastors, all those that I relied upon that were there for me, that I had to now find so that I could heed that moment. I could heed that time. And so what I tell you now is about what I know, what I've experienced in my life. And I know that it can change your life and you can manifest that success. So as I sit here with you right now, I can tell you that it works and that it's for you and that it works for you too. So how can you manifest success in your life? How can you manifest on that pathway? So there's 6 principles. So the first one, so it's my favorite principle. Yes, favor. Do you want favor in your life? Have you had favor in your life? Do you know how to manifest that favor in your life? I'm going to tell you right now. And the first principle is faith. See, faith is what gets us through those dark days. Faith is what allows us to keep moving. When we can't see in front of us, we have to be led by our faith. And it's that foundation that keeps us anchored in the midst of trouble, in the midst of chaos, that keeps us anchored. And there's two elements of the faith. That's faith in the Creator and God, who's created you and given you these wonderful gifts and talents that only you have. They're not for anybody else. It's what He's bestowed on you that creates your treasure trove, your gifts and talents. So it's the faith and belief that all things are possible through Him who's created you. And the second part of that is the faith that you have in yourself. Faith and belief in yourself. That every day when you get up and you look at yourself in the mirror, you recognize who you are. You recognize who you are. Not what you've been through. Not all the mountains that you've had to climb or the valleys you had to wade through. It's about who you have become as a result of those things in your life. It's how those things, when they happened for you, not to you. And now it's made you a greater place. And now you recognize the magic that's on the inside. So it's that faith and belief in yourself that you can achieve, that you can have greatness in your life. So that's what the first principle is all about. That is the fundamental principle that keeps you stable and keeps you anchored. Is belief in God, your Creator, and the belief in yourself. The second is affirmations. Yes. So the first thing is to recognize that you're already affirmed. God has already affirmed you to be the person that you are. He's already affirmed you, so you don't need to be affirmed by anybody else. You don't need their confirmation. You just need to recognize that you have already been affirmed. And then daily you practice those affirmations. Yes. Whatever it is that you need, that you can give yourself. Yes, I am capable. Yes, I am wonderful. Yes, I am great. Yes, I have greatness inside me. Yes, I am a healer. Yes, I am. And I would suggest to you, keep it handy wherever you go, because life can get difficult sometimes. There's a lot of negativity out there. But when you're anchored in your faith, you're anchored in what you believe, and you're anchored by the affirmations every day, positive messages that you can continue to give yourself and remind yourself of who you are and what you're capable of and that you can embrace, is to have it handy. So daily affirmations. Sometimes if it gets to the point where you have to do it every moment, do it. Because it's all part of the stories that you tell yourself every day. So tell yourself the positive stories, the positive truths that exist in your life. The second A in my favorite principle is about action. Because see, God can give you the vision. He can give you the purpose, gift you with your gifts and talents. But until you use them, until you take action, they will never manifest in your life. All those visions will be nothing more than a dream. And eventually, that dream becomes a nightmare, because all of a sudden, you're being haunted by what you didn't do, what you didn't achieve, what could have been, what should have been. What I'm telling you right now, what I'm sharing with you, what I want you to understand is that it's up to you to create that path and to take action. Take that action every day. Every action that you take moves you in that direction. So whether it's one action or multiple actions, because you know, ultimately the success that manifest in your life will be the result of the consistency and discipline in which you take action in your life every day. So if you can build that discipline of consistency, consistently taking action, you will have changes in your life that will be manifested, that will be unbelievable in what they create for you. So action, 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 action. The fourth principle is vision. You got to have vision. You got to have the vision to re-envision what it is, not about what was, but what can be. And I'm a firm believer that when you're purpose-driven and you are faithful and you believe in yourself, that vision comes to you. When you're laying on the sofa, when you're laying in the bed at night, and all of a sudden you wake up and you have this vision and you see yourself in a different way. That's the vision I want you to hold on to. That's the vision I want you now to create that pathway for, and recognize that that vision, it creates, you have to have a vision for where you want to go and how you're going to get there. Because without that vision, the pathway is going to be very difficult. The next principle, the O principle in favor. Originality. Originality. That is your creativity. Be original. You don't have to copy anybody, because you are original. Your gifts and talents are yours. Have you ever thought about who your favorite singer is? And maybe you just think about your two top singers. Each of them have the gift of a voice, and they can sing, and they've been able to create a life for themselves as a musician. But when you really think about it, their gifts are very different. Their pitch is different, their sound is different, their range is different, but they still have that talent and that gift. Because see, what I want you to realize is that they're original. They're being who they are. So you don't have to worry and compare yourself to anybody else. Just be you. Be original. Use your gifts and talents in the creativity to create that uniqueness, because that's your DNA. That's your imprint that God is giving you so that you can make a difference. And the last one is about realness. Be authentic. When you show up every day authentically who you are, no more hiding. No more hiding behind the mask. Be you. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of what you've come through. Be proud of what you've overcome. Let it be the wind beneath your wings. Be authentic. Show up in the realness and authenticity of who you are. Creates greater genuineness. And when you can follow these 6 principles, you can manifest greatness in your life. You can manifest the success that you want. No matter what field you're in, no matter what industry you're in, you can manifest that greatness in your life. So do you want favor? Let me just hear you say, do you want favor in your life? Are you ready for that favor in your life? So I hope you capture them. Faith in yourself, and faith in your Creator. Affirmations, you're already affirmed, and now continue to affirm yourself every day and remind yourself of your greatness. Action, take bold actions every day. Move forward. Vision, follow that vision. Have it clearly written down. Follow your vision. Be original, be who you are, and be authentic. those principles can manifest more than you ever hoped for in your life. So as I come to a close, I have a few final thoughts. What we've talked about is the meaning of a purpose-driven life. I've shared with you my purpose and what I believe I'm called to do, and that is to transform lives and to heal others, to be of impact. What's your purpose? I've also shared with you how being purpose-driven can transform your life and give you a new sense of direction, a new purpose, help you create that joy. And I've shared with you what those 6 principles are for manifesting success along that pathway. So I hope that this message to you today is transforming in your life. I hope that it creates greater meaning and greater joy, that you achieve that success and fulfillment in your life that you're looking for, and that you look at the life ahead of you with a new sense of inspiration, with greater motivation to move forward, to create that path for you. And more importantly, that you realize, that you recognize no matter what age you are, you still have life ahead of you, and that you can make each and every moment count. And it's up to you. You can make it different. You can make it count, and you can create a life of joy for yourself, a life of fulfillment. And so I want to encourage you to begin to think about that path for yourself and to create your path to abundance, to manifest the success in your life. No, I'm a giver. I love sharing what I have with other people. And so for you listening today and joining me on the broadcast in the summit, I want to give you a gift. And what this gift is it's a excerpt from my book, and it's called Unforgiveness. And when you text Gina to 408-913-6963, you can get your free gift. And it's on the topic of forgiveness. Because I believe that one of the things that can block our success, that can block our ultimate abundance, is the inability to forgive. So it's one of the key foundations to moving forward, moving from the past and moving to the future, is the ability to simply forgive. So text Gina to 408-913-6963 for your free gift today. It has been a pleasure sharing this time with you. I want to thank you. I hope you enjoy the rest of the summit. And I want to thank Kim Martin for her glorious, glorious vision for her Success and Fulfillment Summit. And I wish you all success. I wish you all fulfillment. And I wish you joy. Again, my name is Gina Bell, and I'm the founder of Pathways to Abundance and the founder of the Purpose-Driven Woman Movement. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the conference, of the summit. Take care, and may God bless you.
Hi, I'm Kim Warren Martin, and I'm the founder of Successful and Fulfilled, where our mission is to help women to embrace the courage I know you already have to step out of your comfort zone and live life the way you want to live, not just the way you're expected to live. It's not about leaving your job, your family, or school, or any of that. It's about launching into what I call the hashtag undeniable you. So if you want to be a part of a mastermind and enjoy the type of training and support you're receiving now, where experts talk about components of self-mastery, business principles, and wealth building, if you're looking to make sure you're connected to a resource that is all about supporting you to live a successful and fulfilled lifestyle, come on over to www.successfulandfulfilledinterview.com now. I want to meet with you to make sure it's a good fit. If you want to be a part of this movement of individuals dedicated to not only the emotional state of happiness, but also the soulful state of fulfillment, I invite you to a private conversation to make sure you learn more about us and we learn more about you. Come on over to www.successfulandfulfilledinterview.com now. It is a great way for me to learn more about what you want to be successful, about what you need to be fulfilled, and what's most important to you in your life. This is a highly customized membership, so we are very selective. And so I want to meet with you to be sure it's a good fit for both of us. If you're ready to share your talents, your skills, your treasure, your expertise so someone else can live a successful and fulfilled life, this is the place to be. Maybe you want to share your story, or maybe you're called to serve others. If you want to collaborate, network, and connect with a group of women who have this one guiding belief: you don't have to sacrifice your success for fulfillment, nor do you have to sacrifice your fulfillment for success. You can hashtag have it all, as long as you're the one who defines what it all is. So I invite you to come over to www.successfulandfulfilledinterview.com. Make sure you register and I'll see you there. Now you may be wondering, why do I care? Why do I do what I do? Well, my big why is to help women all over the world live life the way they want to live, the way they're called to live, the way they're created to live, the way they're purposed to live, and the way they're destined to live, not just the way they're expected to live. George Washington Carver said, "No individual has any right to come into the world and go out of it without leaving distinct and legitimate reasons for having passed through it." Growing up, I was absolutely convinced that singing and dancing on Broadway and being in movies in Hollywood were my distinct and legitimate reasons for being here. I could already see my name in lights and experiencing the costume changes, etc., etc. I even planned to go to performing arts school for college, but was waiting on the perfect time to announce it to my parents. Now, when I was a senior in high school, my parents invited me into the living room one night because they had an announcement of their own. They said that according to the Wall Street Journal, engineering and computing careers would be some of the top careers of the future. So because I was the oldest and because I was a role model, they were going to send me to engineering school. Now, all I could think of, my 18-year-old self was just like, how am I going to get an Oscar at engineering school? Literally, I felt like my entire life rested on that moment. Now, no amount of respectful rejecting could change their mind. So I went to school. I went to engineering school, and 2 years and 8 months later, I came out with a Bachelor of Science degree. Yes, I did, in a short time. And what I thought I had was my freedom. I thought that paper gave me my freedom and would please my parents. But I got a job, a real job. The money got good. I got promoted. The perks were awesome. I did well, and I was a wonderful role model, and my sisters followed closely in my footsteps. So there I was, a very artsy, analytical person in a scientific, technical world. And someone realized that about me, called me up one night, and invited me to run the Women's Initiative for this multinational corporation. So my role was to help women get to the top on the technical side and on the business side. So I thought about it a couple of days, and I said yes. And I did that globally. And I was literally told I changed the face of the corporation. One day I was working with a woman who actually told me no. She didn't want to get to the top. Now, I was absolutely shocked, but deep inside, I totally understood her. And all I could hear was my dream asking me, you know, Kim, you spent all this time helping all these women get to where we want them to be, but you never stop to ask yourself, where do you want to be? I had completely lost sight of my dream. And at that moment, I realized that the only thing the role model in me was demonstrating was how to live life the way I was expected to live, not the way I wanted to live. I was successful, yes, but I was unfulfilled. And for me, that was a defining moment. You see, I still love the arts, but what I realized is that the singing, the dancing, the acting were more about freedom for me, not entertainment. Freedom of expression, freedom of being, freedom of doing. And working with women all over the world, I have come to realize that every woman was born to live in a soulful state of fulfillment. And ladies, we can do it because fulfillment is not a fantasy, it's a formula. And what I do know is I am not alone. There are other women out there like me who want to live a successful and fulfilled life. So is that you? If so, here's what I want you to do. Come on over to www.successfulandfulfilledinterview.com and let's have a conversation. I really look forward to seeing you there. Enjoy the rest of the summit.